So, you've played Skyrim, you've watched a couple of episodes of Critical Role, or you've watched Stranger Things Season 1 and seen the kids play Dungeons and Dragons, and you're thinking to yourself, that kind of looks like fun, but where do I start? Well, these series of videos plans to be a complete starter's guide to Dungeons and Dragons. All you'll need is the time to watch these videos and you can decide for yourself. So starting off, what is Dungeons and Dragons? If you're interested in the history of the game, check out this other video I've linked here. Dungeons & Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game, which will need between 4 and 6 players. It's not a game you can win in the traditional sense, but it's more of a collaborative storytelling game. It also has some video game style mechanics, such as leveling up, loot, and weapons. It's not a story to be read, it's more like a story to be told between you and your friends. In the game, one person takes the role of the Dungeon Master, or the DM for short, and the rest of the players create a character. The DM is the person that sets the scene for the rest of the party. They generally organise the game, play the monsters, and the rest of the characters that are involved. If you're new to being a DM, don't worry. There are lots of pre-written books and content for you to find on the internet. And if you're a player, don't be scared off by trying to create a character. There are pre-written sheets as well, but a lot of the fun is involved in making your own character. The DM tells the players what is happening in the world. The players tell the DM how they react, and the dice are rolled accordingly. The DM reacts to these decisions and decides how the world responds. There are dice rolled with certain modifiers that help determine what happens in the game world, ensuring there is always a level of chance with these games. There are 3 main parts to the Dungeons & Dragons game: combat, roleplay, and exploration. If you're interested in seeing what the combat is like, then check out some of these videos I've linked here. And there should be some roleplay and exploration videos up soon as well. The game can be played in several different ways, but traditionally, you and your friends gather around a table and a session can normally last between 1 to 4 hours. Other ways to play the game is text-based over Discord, or there are certain websites like Fantasy Grounds and Roll20 that are specifically designed to let you and your friends play over voice chat with a shared map. Virtual Tabletop, or VTT, is the term used with these sites. Most dungeon masters and games use a map, but it's not essential to the game. If you want to play by speaking or text only, it's called the Theatre of the Mind, and generally speaking, the decisions are left to the DM. So, if you and your friends decide you want to play, where do you go from there? It's a good question. There are 2 standard options. The first is the Starter Kit. The Starter Kit has everything you'll need to start a game, from level 1 to level 5. It includes rulebook, scenario, dice, and a character sheet for your players. It has The Lost Mines of Phandelver, a classic campaign. There's also the Essentials Kit that has the blue artwork. The main differences is that the Essential Kit was released a few years after the original Starter Kit, and it has a different campaign and story. The Starter Kit is more of a roller coaster experience, whilst the Essentials Kit is more of a sandbox. It's structured a bit differently and has a hub world with independent missions instead of a story going from start to finish. There are also the Young Adventurers guidebooks, which are a good supplement for children that introduce some of the aspects of Dungeons & Dragons without bogging them down with rule sets and dice. They're more of a creative toolkit than a rulebook, but really get the imagination running. It lets the children see a bunch of new artwork and makes them want to say, I want to make my character like that. In summary, you should get everything you need to start a game from the Starter Kit, so let's just go with that for now. The next thing you need to decide is who wants to be the Dungeon Master and organise a lot of the stuff, and who wants to be the player. The Dungeon Master puts in a bit more time and effort than the rest of the players, but it's more rewarding in the long run. Think of the Dungeon Master as the PlayStation, and the players are the players. So, if you've got your starters kit and you've decided who wants to be the DM, that's a great start. If you are the DM, there's a link to other videos that will help you start planning out your first session. The players have a bit of responsibility before the first game starts as well. They need to look up the character sheet and design their character. If you're rushed for time, there are pre-made character sheets, but if you want to create your own character, I'll link a video over there to try and help you fill out the character sheet. You can create a character with something like pencil and paper, or you can go to the D&D Beyond website, which is a very convenient tool to help you design a character. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any further questions about starting your campaign, then write it down in the comments and I'm sure to reply. And if you want to help out my channel, please leave a like and consider subscribing.